Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy not only horoscope readings but also the other types of readings that I put out, such as this one, which is going to be a divine masculine reading for the Twinflame collective. I also do singles readings, love readings, and divine feminine readings. So, excuse me. Let's get into it. It's been a long time since I dedicated an entire video to a divine masculine, or to the divine masculine collective, so let's just get right into it and see what comes up. I'm going to be using various decks today, as I feel called, and we'll see what comes up. So we're going to start with the Romance Angels. Okay. Let's see what wanted to pop out. Unrequited love wanted to be seen. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. We'll feel out how that applies to the reading. Oh, and we've got a stray in here. Look at this. Where did this come from? Love from your parents. Interesting. No matter what, your mother and father love you as much as they can. I don't know how this got in here, but there's got to be something to do with maybe you weren't feeling a lot of love from your parents. Maybe that was one of the things that's holding you back from experiencing love from your divine masculine or from within yourself. Perhaps it's a deep-seated subconscious belief that you feel as though you don't deserve love in some way because you didn't receive it as a child in the way that you expected or that you needed to receive it. But this is letting you know that your parents love you as much as they can. You know, when we're children, we see our parents as gods. We see our parents as having no faults or no flaws. But little do we know that they're just humans, they're just people like us, and they've gone through their own battles and gone through their own karmic cycles of learning. So sometimes we can't expect them to love us when they don't love themselves in the way that they should. And if that doesn't resonate with you, then this is simply telling you that your parents love you. Whether they're alive or whether they've moved on to the other side, they love you and they're sending you love and supporting you in all ways. Always. So we're going to get cards for the Divine Masculine Collective. We're going to get his head space, his heart space, and his physical space. And that spread is inspired by Whole Again 1111, so shout out to that channel. Okay, so let's see what's in the masculine's headspace right now. Wow! Unrequited love. You can't make this shit up. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this going. That's how they're feeling. That's what they're thinking right now. This is in their headspace. So that's what they're thinking or what they're believing at this point. So let's see what's in their heart space. What's going on in the masculine's heart space? Okay, it is this one. Letting go of control issues, allowing the situation to unfold naturally. So they may be resisting how things are unfolding in their heart. We'll get clarifiers on everything as well, but let's see what's going on in their physical space. We have playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So in the physical space, they are possibly going out and having some fun, which is good. So let's see, clarifying with the Fairy Tarot by Dorian Virtue. Let's see what wanted to come out here. Ego. Okay, so the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items and getting caught up in fear and worry. This is kind of in between these two, unrequited love and letting go of control issues. The ego is what's causing this mental and emotional barrier within them. Okay, so can we get clarifiers for the masculine's headspace, please? The Chariot. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight. Oh. Sorry, one sec. Let's see what we got here. What wanted to pop out? We have the 10 of Autumn, the King of Summer in reverse, and the 7 of Winter in reverse as well. So the 10 of Autumn is the 10 of Pentacles equivalent. So this is abundance, physical, manifested abundance. It says taking steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. Then we got the King of Summer in reverse. So he is honorable, devoted, mature, and warm-hearted. He's a romantic partner that you can trust. Excellent advice that comes from the heart. Getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. So him coming up in reverse under unrequited love, in his mental space, is him not reconciling with his emotions and not being able to move forward. He's not being able to make this into a physical manifestation. And the 7 of Winter is, there's a better choice. Not seeing things clearly and running away from the truth. So he has allowed this barrier to be formed from his ego. He wants to move forward and be successful. But I think what he's just focusing on right now with his movement is money. He's focusing his energy and his time and his effort towards manifesting abundance rather than manifesting a union, because he may feel as though there is unrequited love there. He's not receiving what he needed. Maybe you've cut him off in some way. But I think this is more himself. He's unable to love himself, and therefore he's unable to give love. So he's running away from the truth, which is that if he can't love himself unconditionally, he can't accept unconditional love from anybody else because he doesn't believe it. And that's stemming from ego. And that's where this unrequited love is coming from. So let's get clarifiers on the heart space, which is letting go of control issues. What is going on in the masculine's heart space? Okay, this one wanted to come out. Unity. Well, that's interesting. This is a number 5, which indicates divinely guided change. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. So let's get some more there. Letting go of control issues and unity in the heart space. We had 2, 3. So we've got the 9 of Autumn, the 9 of Summer in reverse, and the 4 of Summer. Wow, so that is 2 9s. One about independence and abundance and being solitary in a way, but enjoying it. So we've got renewal of self, like renewing your independence. But I feel as though, okay, so reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self-employed, cherishing your time alone. So these are, interestingly, two contradictory energies. We have unity, and then the Nine of Autumn, which is more about spending time alone. Now, that's actually one of the prerequisites for unity, is to spend time alone. You learn to love yourself, so you shut down the ego, you learn to love yourself, and then you come into unity within yourself, which manifests unity around you. So we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. So this is wish fulfillment in the upright. Wishes coming true, dreams fulfilled, and a magical time of life. This is emotional fulfillment, relationship that is balanced, harmonious, and loving, but in the reverse, he is not feeling that. And when I say he, you can input she, it's just the masculine energy. It can be a female or a male. Just want to reiterate that for people watching, any new subscribers. So the Four of Summer as well, being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted and being discontented with life. So I think there's something there that he's not seeing. He's feeling that this opening of his heart chakra is starting to take place. But he's not at a place yet where he feels the love. Okay, so here's what's happening. When your heart chakra opens for the first time, it can be either very joyful or it can release a lot of what's been stored there. So if he's been storing a lot of unrequited love, a lot of grief, a lot of pain, which we see with the Knight of Cups in reverse, he's been keeping it all in, not expressing, not purging, not letting these things out. So when they store up inside of him and then they all come out at once, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, to say the least. So he's not seeing that this is actually for his greatest and highest good. He's not seeing that this process is going to bring him fulfillment. He's seeing it as painful, which it can be, or he's feeling it that way because this is in his heart space. Ultimately, this is leading him to unity. Ultimately, this change is divinely guided. It is for his greatest evolution, but he's not feeling that at this moment, and he's not thinking that at this moment either. So let's go into his physical space. What is going on in the masculine's physical space? We have playfulness. Eight of Autumn wanted to come out, so do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship, and long-term projects. The Eight of Summer, or sorry, this is the Eight of Autumn. Eight of Autumn is like the Eight of Pentacles. It's working towards something and putting in effort. It's being diligent and dedicated to the outcome. So what is that in relation to? Let's get what else is going on in his physical space. These two. The Moon and the Three of Summer. Wow, okay, so the Moon is powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear and understanding the truth of a situation. The Moon can also be secrets or things being withheld. This can be the shadow side of the self that the ego lives within, or unknown parts of the self where information is stored and it's difficult to access because it's through the subconscious mind, which can be very archetypal in nature. Think of dreams as an example. Then we have the Three of Summer. News worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, and friends that you cherish. So putting all of this together, playfulness, the Eight of Autumn, the Moon, and the Three of Summer. I see the masculines in their physical space working towards understanding their subconscious mind. And physically working towards bettering themselves in some way to do with their intuition. They're striving to playfully address the fears that have lurked within their subconscious mind, as we see in their mental and their heart space. This is what's going on. They have subconscious fears and repressed emotional energy, which is blocking them in several different areas. I want to get some Psychic Tarot by John Holland because they have the chakra cards in here as well. Before I move forward with pulling more cards, I do want to mention also... Nope, they're telling me not to. Okay, we're not going to mention that. So let's get some clarifiers here. What's going on with the Divine Masculine's mental authority? So this is the Emperor card. The 4 represents stability. The Divine Masculine at this time in their mental space is trying to remain authoritative over what is happening. This can be a good authority or this can be a bad authority. When the ego tries to be authoritative and take control, it can run rampant and create problems. If this is coming from a balanced state of authority, then the masculine is coming from a heartfelt, compassionate way of ruling himself or others. This could also be an Aries, as the Emperor is the card of Aries. Aries are fiery, passionate individuals. They are leaders. They can sometimes act before thinking, which can sometimes be detrimental, but at other times it prevents them from being trapped in fear, which the ego can do. It can trap you in fear. Let's see what's clarifier for their heart space, please. Or their emotional space. So the heart chakra, and it did want to come out like this. So in their emotional space, in their heart space, they are feeling blocked right now, their heart chakra. And again, we have a 4, which is about stability. So I feel as though they are feeling a little bit unstable right now in their mental and in their emotional space. And this is what's preventing them from seeing this opportunity. This is what they are feeling discontented about, and this is why they're feeling this unrequited love or this lack of fulfillment, which we saw with the 9 of Summer in reverse. So this is them not seeing things for what they are. There's some level of illusion because we have the ego and the moon, so there's something that they're not seeing clearly. And as I said that, I saw this here, not seeing things clearly again. So they are not seeing things clearly right now, either mentally or emotionally. And that's going to reflect itself in the physical realm. If they're not seeing things clearly, then they're not going to be acting in a way that's in alignment. So what's going on in their physical space? Trapped in fear. Wow. Okay, so this is the Eight of Swords. This is a mental energy. This is them overthinking things, letting their ego run rampant and take control. They're not seeing things clearly. They're not feeling things clearly. They're being trapped in fear through the subconscious mind, through this unrequited love. They really need to let go of their control issues, because at this time they're acting from a place that is trapped in fear. And that's causing them to try and take more control. It's causing them to try and, it's ramping the ego up even more aggressively, which is, it's a downward spiral. You can't win that way. You can't win by trying to gain more control. You have to let go. You have to surrender. And he, at this point, the Divine Masculine, is not looking like they want to surrender. So now I'm going to get clarifiers from the Rider-Waite. So again, yeah, imbalance. So this is Temperance in reverse. In the mental space, they're feeling very unbalanced. They don't know what to do to come back into balance, and so they're just working and focusing on the physical aspects of life, but that's really draining them in a way that they didn't expect. You know, you expect to have all this income coming in and it to replenish you, but really in reality, the money is not fulfilling them in the way that they would have hoped. And it's like they're constantly chasing something that isn't there. They're chasing ghosts, is what I just heard. And in the heart space, okay. Page of Cups. And he came out sideways. It was neither reversed nor upright. It was sideways. So Page of Cups is about messages or communication of love, of emotions. It's feeling into your heart center and understanding it. It's learning how to deal with your emotions and how to express your emotions. So right now they're in sort of a limbo where they really are trying to deal with what's coming up while still feeling like they don't have enough. They really do need to surrender to this, though. They really need to let go and let their heart chakra purge so that they can come back into a balanced state of emotional security, because this need for control is really blocking the heart and making the purging process that much more difficult. And in the physical space, we have a lot of contradictory energy. There's celebration and playfulness. The moon, Eight of Autumn, and trapped in fear. So what I'm actually seeing from this now that I take a second look, playfulness and the Three of Summer could indicate them going out and drinking. This could be them trying to reconcile with the shadow self and their fear and really just kind of mask it, to really just self-medicate by keeping themselves busy with work and by going out and potentially drinking or socializing. Distractions. These are distractions, is what I'm hearing. They're distracting themselves from dealing with what's happening in their heart and what's happening in their head. So this is how they control. And we have the Three of Wands in reverse. So the Three of Wands is about having made a decision and planned for the future, investing and sowing the seeds for abundance, now waiting patiently for this abundance to manifest and your ships to come in. You've wished for something and you've put it out there, and now you're just waiting for it to come back to you, but it's in reverse. So it's almost as though he doesn't believe that anything will come back to him. It's unrequited love syndrome. It's this mental block that he has so deep within his subconscious mind that he really believes that nothing's coming to him, that this love is not coming to him, that he can't find balance, that he can't have an open heart chakra and communicate from a place of authenticity. Okay. So I'm going to pick these all up, and then we're going to get advice. We're going to get advice from the cards, from Spirit, for the masculines, on how they can go about healing these blocks. Okay, so once again, we're going to go into head space, heart space, physical space, but this time we're going to ask for advice. What is the advice for the masculine in their current headspace? Separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. What is the advice for the divine masculines at this current time in their heart space, in their emotional space? Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And what is the advice for the divine masculines at this current time in their physical space? We have keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So what I'm feeling from these cards in the mental space, Spirit is advising the divine masculines to go within. The card says time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I think that that's already the case, but I feel as though it's more necessary for them to go into a state of separation from their ego, because that's where they feel most comfortable. That is the control issue that they have, is feeling most comfortable with the ego taking the lead and calling the shots. So this is them needing to separate their mind, their ego mind, from their higher self. They really need to go within and ask themselves some serious questions. But a lot of the time it can be painful to heal, and they are avoiding it. In the heart space, or in the emotional space, the advice for the divine masculines is for them to love themselves first. I think that's pretty straightforward, especially with their heart chakra being blocked or going through the process of purging. They really at this time need to love themselves, because that unrequited love complex is stemming from them not finding self-worth and self-love. So it's going to be imperative for them to find unconditional love for themselves and self-respect, because that's going to allow them to attract or to manifest the twin flame union, or any kind of a relationship that's healthy and balanced. I mixed those two words together. So keep an open mind in the physical space for the divine masculine. That's the advice for them right now. What they should be taking action on is more of a mental advice. What they should be doing is keeping an open mind, because they have limited themselves with their belief systems and with their subconscious shadow selves and their ego. They've limited themselves and the potentiality that they have. So they're being asked to keep an open mind and not to limit themselves. I'm going to do clarifications on these from the Rider-Waite. So, clarification and more advice on for the mental space of the divine masculines, please. Justice. This is finding balance. Justice holds the scales of balance, and justice holds the sword to cut out things that are causing imbalances. He sits on his throne in a role of authority and control, but in a way that is balanced and from a place of righteousness. Justice is just. So the advice for them is to find balance within themselves, to cut out the things that aren't serving them anymore, which is obviously ego, the separation from the ego. That's what really needs to happen for them, because if they don't do that, they're going to continue playing out the same cycles, the same karmic patterns, because it's all drawn to them through ego. It's all stemming from this need for control and this underlying theme of lack of self-love. So love yourself first. Can we get more advice for the masculines in their heart space? So the advice is for them to come out of feeling trapped. They feel stuck mentally, emotionally, and then physically they're just trying to cope. So the advice is for them to unbind their eyes and unbind their heart, to love themselves. Maybe they didn't receive love from their parents, because that card just keeps coming back to me, and I just got a pitch change in my ear. So yeah, that could definitely be something that is subconsciously creating this pattern, or this emotional barrier, this emotional block is stemming from the fact that they didn't receive love from their parents in the way that they had needed when they were growing up. And this is what's causing them to be stuck in this place. It's time to come out of that now. So how can they come out of that? How can they, by keeping an open mind in the physical space? What's the advice? We have the Hanged Man in reverse. So this is the Hanged Man being about enlightenment, new perspectives, but also about a time of introspection and feeling not stagnant, but immobilized. Taking a minute to stay where they are and see things from a new perspective. So when he's upside down like this, he's seeing things from a new perspective and he's becoming enlightened. When he's upwards like this, he's become enlightened and he's ready to unbind his leg and move forward. So this is them keeping an open mind, because literally, look at the picture. I mean, his mind is glowing. He's got a very open mind. He's enlightened. He's no longer constricted. He has cut out all of the things that were not serving him with his ego and freed himself from the mental swords. So this is him having the ability to move forward based on the enlightened information and expanded consciousness that he grows for himself, because this is yes, it's something you receive, but it's something that you have to work towards for yourself to be able to get there. And on the bottom of the deck, I just saw we have the Empress. And the Empress is the Divine Feminine. So we did have the Divine Masculine come up in the reading as well in the form of the Emperor. See if I can find him. The Emperor and the Empress, these are the divine union. This is the twin flames. This is the soulmate. This is the partnership that needs to be in balance. And when the divine masculine is coming from a place of ego and using his authority for negative or for power in the negative sense, this pushes the feminine away. Because the feminine is sensitive, and she nurtures, and she wants to foster growth. And hunger for power in the negative sense, or control over others, really is not a nurturing energy. These two don't go together. They don't vibe well together. So that's why it's important that the masculine comes out of that, sees what's actually fair and what's actually balanced, and how he's affecting others in that way, and how he's affecting himself in that way, so that he can wake up and understand all of the processes that are going on within him. Because you can't change something if you don't know that there's something that needs to be fixed. If your service engine light didn't come on, the car would just break down. You have to see the engine light on to go and get something fixed, otherwise you wouldn't know. So if he's, running around with his blindfold on and he doesn't see the engine light come on, the car is going to break down. So at this time, he's being advised to go within, to separate from the ego, and to cast off these limiting beliefs that he has programmed or had programmed into him from a young age, because that's what's going to allow him to fix himself and run at his optimal speed. And it's funny that these car references are coming up because it's a masculine video, and of course the masculines love their cars and their machines and their toys. I just love that. Okay, so now I want to get some oracle cards. From Nature's Whispers. I was feeling drawn to these this morning, so we'll see what comes up for the masculine. There we go. What's going on with the masculines? We have Make a Wish and Catch Your Breath. And it's interesting because this Make a Wish is her blowing, and then Catch Your Breath is implying the inhale. So there's this push and pull. There's this the tides coming in and the tides going out. It's the masculines needing to breathe, to really sit down, take a minute and breathe, and focus their intention on what it is that they want. If they want freedom, then distraction is not the way to go about it. If they want freedom, then mindless tasks are not the way to go about it. Freedom comes from within. Freedom comes from your mental state. It comes from your emotional state. It comes from a balanced place. And if the masculines have all of these burdens that are weighing them down emotionally and mentally, of course they're not going to be able to catch their breath. They're not going to be able to breathe. That's that trapped in fear. It's like an anxiety panic attack where they can't breathe. When you do have a panic attack, it's all in your head. You can breathe normally. It's not a physical function that's being affected. It's your mental fear creating the illusion that you physically can't breathe. And that creates even more fear, because then you're worried about your life. You feel as though you might die. So, but it's all coming back to the mind. So they're being offered this new beginning. This is a number 1, making a wish and moving forward from a new place of understanding. But really they do have to find harmony and balance within themselves. 1 and 5 is 6. 1 being new beginning, 5 being change and divinely guided movement forward, and 6 being about harmony. They really need to come back into harmony between their mind and their heart, because right now both of them are out of balance. How does the Divine Masculine feel about the Divine Feminine at this time? I think it was this one. Clear endeavor. I'm going to get clarifiers on that one. Sorry, hold on. How does the Divine Masculine feel about the Divine Feminine at this time? Seven of Autumn. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So they may be feeling as though they know what they want. Oh, geez, that's a lot. We're just going to take the one on top, which is the Queen of Summer. And this is the Queen of Cups. This is the emotionally balanced feminine. She is loving, nurturing, caring, comforting, emotional and intuitive, she listens to her heart. She's intuitive and has insights that she can trust. She takes care of others, sometimes a little bit too much. I think we all know that as feminines. We are born nurturers. We want to help people. We want to care for others and make sure that they are happy. Sometimes it's to our own detriment. So what I'm seeing the Divine Masculine is feeling towards the Divine Feminine right now is he sees her very clearly. He sees her in a way that he has never seen himself. He sees himself through a distorted lens, but he sees the feminine very clearly for who she really is. The Queen of Cups. The Empress. And he's waiting. He's having patience. He doesn't realize that he's planted the seeds, but he has, and they are growing. Right now, he needs to think about where he wants to invest his time, his energy, his money. And he is being asked by Spirit to rest and plan his next steps. He's being asked to take a sit down because there was a lot of cards about energy of him needing to take a step back and go within. I'm surprised we didn't get the Hermit, but him needing to go within himself